Beep, 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 beep. All that's new and approved from the Jester News Arse. Hello, you lot. How you doing? Not so cold now. It was cold when I filmed the other morning. Not so bad today. Things have heated up a bit. Let's talk about educate and celebrate. I've got an article here from a person who has a Substack, which I'll put all the details in the doober as usual. I want to talk about educate and celebrate. And educate and celebrate are one of these, identikit companies that sell bollocks to people. So let's have a look and see what they're up to according to this wonderful little put together document. Okay, so that's going to be quite interesting, I think, to do this. Now, so educate and celebrate, this is the title, is grooming a gender generation. Links in the dooberies. Buy me a coffee if you can help out, for God's sake. Buy me a coffee or become a warrior teacher. New cohort in February, become a warrior teacher. So it says here, did you know last Wednesday was Pansexual Pride Day? In order to educate us and celebrate this festive occasion, the organisation Educate and Celebrate posted a special message for that special day. Every year on the 8th of December, we celebrate Pansexual Pride Day. It is a time for both individuals and organisations around the world to come together and celebrate pansexuality and raise further awareness to pansexual people in their community. That's it, right? That's what they said, okay? Unfortunately, that's all there is in terms of celebration. They made it up. What should we do today? Make up a day. What kind of day? I don't know. Any day will do. Make it up. Just make it up. Can you imagine? Right, okay, that's what they're doing, right? They've got a pansexual flag as well. And it's that's it. That's the entire celebration on the website. That and the pansexual flag, because there's always a flag. Of course there's always a flag. In order to learn more, they invite site visitors to click this link to a blog, which, along with a cheery call to shop by identity in their online store, Shop by Identity in their online store explains what makes pansexuality different from bisexuality and therefore more special. It's the intersectional lunacy going on here. Right, okay. So, pansexuality differs from bisexuality, but the two aren't mutually exclusive. Right? Being bisexual means being attracted to more than one gender, whereas pansexual means being attracted to people regardless of gender. Well, first off, they've got it wrong. Bisexuality means being attracted to people of both sexes, doesn't it? We know this, you see. They're just obfuscating once more with their ridiculous language games. Pansexual means being attracted to people regardless of gender. So, yeah, bisexual then. Right. They really got the little, sliver the boxes down. Let's complicate the simplistic, shall we? It's essentially a distinction without a difference, as is said here. Educate and Celebrate has a business model, namely selling American school systems on their training packages in education and celebration of gender diversity. I said it the other day, I'll say it again. Can you say boondoggle? In practice, however, the serious bit, they're grooming kids towards sexual behaviours. That's what's being said in this article. Orientation is one thing, right? For a moment in history, right about 2015, the world seemed to grasp the reality that any person of either sex can be orientated towards either or both sexes. Nobody's got a problem with this anymore, right? Okay, nobody. Not really. And if they have, it's like some outdated thing, innit? You know what I mean? It's like some outdated thing. People look at them and go, bless. It's not like it was years ago when they held the power, when it was a crime to be me. No, it's not the same. It's not the same at all. So we got it. Right, now these people are pushing things like, being attracted to nebulous genders. Essentially, are just haircuts and clothing. Remember, gender identity is personality. Gender expression is fashion. Gender expression is fashion. They might self-harm themselves with endocrine things, endocrinology, and do the old hormonals, or they might cut bits off themselves. But essentially, it's about how you do your hair and clothes, really, isn't it? But teenagers and this crap, it's not good news when it gets into the schools. So, what the article says here is, lucky for us, the article says, Educate and Celebrate has effective strategies that are underpinned by a research that is ongoing since 2010 and speaks for itself. My truth. They're all the same. Oh, there must be some way to build an identikit questionnaire. Are they doing this? Yes. Are they doing this? Yes. Are they doing this? Yes. Twats. Right? Okay, no. So, our research is ongoing since 2010 and speaks for itself as a way to make society a more welcoming place for everyone. Like, say, pansexuals. We should welcome them into our schools, otherwise we are bigots. So this isn't about shaping the next generation into a cash cow. Great line, right? The link has in fact changed. Last week, a reader pointed out to me that Educate and Celebrate page was linked to the Wikipedia page on pansexuality, which interestingly rejects the inclusion of paraphilias in its definition. But who knows how long that will stand before someone declares it to be fetish phobic and the Ministry of Truth must rewrite it. This is a great little article. It's really well written as well. Volume 2 of Cavendish's Sex and Society states that although the term's literal meaning can be interpreted as attracted to everything, people who identify as pansexual do not usually include paraphilias such as bestiality, paedophilia and necrophilia in their definition. I bet they don't. Bestiality and necrophilia. You've been flogging a dead horse. And they stress in Cavendish Sex and Society that the term pansexuality describes only consensual adult sexual behaviours. They're having to do pre-denial now because we know that their grift is up. Things are going on that shouldn't be, that need looking at. Safeguarding. So if it's about adult sexual behaviours, why on earth is a non-profit organisation working with schools promoting an awareness day? This is a great question being asked. Why are you doing it? Educate and Celebrate? Are you all mad? Oh, yeah, that's it. They're all mad, see? Examining Educate and Celebrate in 2020, the Transgender Trend website, run, of course, by the indomitable Stephanie, yes, reported that CEO Ellie Barnes was out to, in her own words, smash heteronormativity when she got her activism funded through a government anti-bullying project in 2015. You can smell the investigations coming, can't you? Ellie Barnes, does she now? Membership costs £50. Access to the Pride Youth Network would cost £200. For £1,750, your school could join the Pride and Inclusion Award programme, which will buy, among other things, online and face-to-face support for a year, 2 continuing professional development days, a staff meeting organised by Educate and Celebrate trainer, a book collection, poster and other merchandise. Or schools could buy in just the CPD training, the price is negotiable, where staff will develop a deeper understanding of sexual orientation, gender and gender identity. Well, seeing as the only one that genuinely matters on that is the first one, sexual orientation, staff don't need to develop information about gender and gender identity. Gender identity just doesn't exist. And why it is necessary, they say about this, gender identity, to include these protected characteristics in our curriculum. They're lying again, Stonewall on it. Gender identity isn't a protected characteristic and never will be. Get used to it. Online whole staff training will cost £400. So there's no trainer there. They're just making money. A day's Pride workshop for children will cost £500. Just. Everyone attending Educate and Celebrate training, school staff and children will be taught about gender identity, a belief that has no proof, can only be explained by resorting to gender stereotypes. They will also be taught legal falsehood, as neither gender nor gender identity are protected characteristics of the 2010 Equality Act. Well said, that man. Remember, links in the doobries. Subscribe. It's worth subscribing to. Barnes and her organisation have made a lot of money selling bad advice. Very, very bad advice. Set aside the trans issue here. Advice to schools that they celebrate pansexuality is a very bad idea. There's no such thing. It is a bad advice because it invites abuses. Once revealed, these abuses often become damages. Barnes does not cover the cost of following her bad advice, though. That's not her role. This is a safeguarding issue. If they were running this, if the schools were doing the safeguarding framework, if they had a safeguarding framework, the basic principle that who is this going to affect and who might it damage, right? And that could be emotional, could be physical, could be sexual, could be anything. If the safeguarding was working, this wouldn't be happening. These people wouldn't be in schools at all. That's the problem, is the breach of the safeguarding. Everything needs to come from safeguarding, which is where it begins. That's how Barnes and her crew get away with this nonsense. Her role, this is Barnes and her crew at Educate and Celebrate, is educating us about pansexuality and making sure we celebrate it. Their mission, it seems, according to this blog, is to groom a whole generation for adult desires. They're not going to go away unless we make them go away. You've got to get your head around that. And the only way that we're going to make them go away is to start thinking about things resolutely through a safeguarding lens. That's it. Okay? Safeguarding. Anything to do with gender and gender identity is a red flag. It's an immediate red flag. Start talking about pansexuality? That's an immediate red flag. Anything that does not understand that there are three: bisexuality, heterosexuality, homosexuality. That's it. There is nothing else. Everything else is based upon the unreality of gender identity. There is nothing else. Right? We are our bodies, and that's what we tell the children. We do not let these people anywhere near schools. But yet here they are, government funded from 2015. They're not going to go away unless we make them go away. Swine. Safeguarding. That's the lens, and that applies to all of it. Go well.